It's Rollin, Jay's the number one Boston Celtics podcast in the whole wide world. Yeah, I said it. Come do something about it. I'm totally Mick. I'm here with your favorite cousin, Stiz, and Boo to the Ball Nerd. We got Jake Yazzie back behind the ones and twos, feeling good, looking good. Happy to have him back. You know who's not back? The Celtics. They just don't play basketball anymore, which is good. I'm glad the boys are getting some healthy, a lot of quality family time around the holidays. But we don't have much to talk about. They beat two bad teams. They've got some games coming up we're going to get into. Kristaps gets hurt every game. I guess we can talk about that a little bit if we want to bring the vibes all the way down. But right before we got on, we were talking some video games, and it is the holiday season. It's big video game hours, gifts. Some of the all-time gifts have been systems, games specifically. But I was going to make a take, and I said, hey, we're not rolling. Turn it on. Let's get some takes off. I think the Nintendo Switch has a great case for the number one game system of all time. Number one, numero uno. Stiz, where do you stand with that kind of take?
That's a stretch, bro.
Yeah, it's a spicy meatball.
Yo, let me hear what you. No, I want to hear what you have to say first before I start firing off my rebuttals. I want to see why. The why.
Especially since they added the entire back catalog of every Nintendo game. I can go play N64 Mario Kart on there if I want to, right through there, through the World Wide Web if I want to. They bridged the gap between handheld and console. No one at PSP tried it. You know what I mean? That we had Game Boys back in the day. We had Sega Game Gear back in the day. It's so good. Like, you can't really play sports games on there. You can't 2Ks, Madden, stuff like that. Nintendo's never been for that. But I would argue their sports games are better. You give me that little Italian plumber playing some golf and tennis. You know what I mean? Baseball, he's got it all. Yeah. He's got it all. I can face Sonic in the Olympics. For some reason, they're rival nations in Nintendo world. But like you were saying beforehand, Zelda, I can't play Zelda on Xbox 360. You know what I mean? Like that. They've got some all-time titles that you can only play on there. So no, you can't play the sports games. You're not really playing Call of Duty on there. You can play Fortnite on there if that's your bag. The realism, no, you got to go to another system for that. I'm playing video games. I'm trying to escape the realism.
That's a strong case, bro. And like, it's tough just because you could take it with you. You could take it with you wherever you go. And like, I was going to say a PlayStation, but I can't. There's PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like, you can't really pick one. You feel me? The PSP almost had it. They almost figured it out. The Switch. That's a strong case, man. That's a strong case. I want to say PlayStation 5, but I can't say PlayStation 5 because it's just another PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? I'm a PlayStation guy, bro. I had to think about that as soon as you said it. Like, yo, they don't give up their characters. Woo! 30th edition. That's tough, bro. That's strong. No, that's strong.
Needed it. So I'm staring at a PS5 right now. You know what it is? It collects dust, and that's a me problem. That's a has 3 kids problem. Buddha, where do you sit in the great system debates of our lifetimes?
I am not the best person to ask about today's video games. All right. I'm not somebody who gets home from work and logs on for 3 hours and gets 2 Fortnite dubs and wins an NCAA championship. That's just not who I am at this point in my life. But what I will tell you is that growing up over the past 20 years, there is a correct progression. So I'm not going to tell you the PS5 is better than the new Xbox or the Switch. You know, Cole, you can play Mario Kart before you go to bed. Like, I'm not the one who's going to make those arguments. But I'll tell you this. You had to buy the PlayStation 2, and I think the PS2 is up there for the number one system of all time. And I can give you some games that would back that up. After the PS2, the PS3 came out, but clearly the Xbox 360 was on another level. I mean, the Xbox 360 is in the conversation as well. As they went to the Xbox One, then I would say I switched back to a PS4. So I went PlayStation to Xbox to PlayStation. And then nowadays, I think everything is pretty relative. Like, I don't think there's that big of a difference. I think it's personal preference. But PS2 over whatever the Xbox came out before the 360, switch to the 360, come back to the PS4, and then nowadays, guys, just grow the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of where you need to be.
No, I will not.
PlayStation 2 had the multi-tap as well, bro. And you could play Def Jam Vendetta with 8 people. That right there. That right there was, bro, playing Def Jam Fight for New York with, come on, bro. That NFL Street.
NFL Street was amazing.
Come on.
But
PlayStation 2 is strong, bro. But like Nintendo doesn't give up their characters. They have Mario and they have Zelda. And those two iconic, bro. The PlayStation doesn't have I don't think they have a strong characters that are that strong. You know what I'm saying?
The
like they have
PlayStation
games,
2
obviously.
The PlayStation 2 had fucking Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz hitting in the 3-4 in MVP 05. It had the greatest soundtrack of all time. You ever want to get a good workout in? Not that I get good workouts in, but you ever want to get a good workout in? Listen to MVP 05 soundtrack on Spotify. You'll be
Nintendo GameCube. Whoa.
Yeah,
my bad,
GameCube
bro.
went crazy. GameCube went crazy.
GameCube, bro.
So
SSX Tricky with
SSX
was
Tricky.
the real
all time.
deals.
Gosh.
All time.
Gosh.
Speaking of Christmas console gifts, my father was the first person I ever heard talk about an Xbox, the original Xbox. He was deep in the web. He showed me it. I went to school the next day. No one knew what the fuck I was talking about. I was like, no, listen, the people who make computers, because Apple wasn't a thing back then, the people who make computers are making a video game system. It's going to rule. He told me about that probably like August, and it came out November, as systems used to. I don't know what they do anymore, but it was coming out that November, so it was going to be one of the gifts of that year. So he's planted my head 6 months out. Like, you're getting an Xbox. That's what's going on up here. And I was so excited. Then we get closer to Christmas. He's like, you really need to start reading more. You need to just be a smarter kid. And I was like, well, I guess I'm just asking for books for Christmas. Shit, that was brutal. And I wake up. My father also would never talk to my mother about these things, like just not great parenting on his behalf. I wake up Christmas morning. There's a GameCube sitting there. Brand new GameCube. I was happy, but he didn't talk to my mom, so I only got a GameCube. 0 games. Can you think of a more brutal Christmas morning than getting a fresh new system with no games? My bless my mother's soul. She put me in the car. We drove to West Coast Video, which for some reason was open on Christmas Day, and let me rent a few games just so I didn't have a useless, like, this wasn't PS5 where I could stream Netflix. You know what I'm saying? This was just the Cube. All you got was the Cube, and I was gameless. It was so nice, but so confused. Everyone was just like, you were so close to the finish line, and you just shit your pants right there. It was brutal.
Dude, that
With
menu
the GameCube,
screen,
you
though,
barely got the cords.
The cords
Bro,
were there.
come
Yeah,
on.
we got some cords and a controller, and that was it. And that was the whole thing.
That menu screen was so loud, bro. Bro,
Sounds like a 100 Gex record.
that's how my
times,
brother
bro.
found out that Santa Claus wasn't real. Spoiler alert, my bad, guys. I just let it out to all our listeners. But that's how my brother found out Santa Claus wasn't real. Was his neighbor his neighbor ended up getting a PlayStation 1 for Christmas, and my brother didn't. And my brother was like, "That kid's an asshole. I'm not. Why the hell did he get the freaking PlayStation and I didn't? There's no way. There's no way." And that's how we found out.
Demanding a recount on Christmas morning based off morality is unbelievable. What did either of you ever get a system for Christmas?
Bro, my Christmases were stacked. That's the only time I got consoles were on Christmases.
Right.
That's the only time, bro. That's why I love Christmas so much, bro. They bring my favorite memories out, bro. GameCube memories, bro. SSX Tricky morning, bro. I didn't know what I was in store for.
What character are you using,
bro?
Stiz?
I was Mac.
Mac
was my boy.
had the best tricks in the game. I personally liked Simon. I thought Luther was a badass.
Luther was the man, bro.
Sia was good. She had great outfits. She had fantastic outfits.
That's a fact. The fits in that game were crazy, bro. Yeah, bro. Mac was my guy, like straight up.
What
to
I
this
hated.
day,
Go ahead.
to this day in my life, I still have the PlayStation 2 set up, ready to go at all times. whether it's SSX Tricky, whether
That's
it's
fire, bro.
whether it's playing NCAA 2004 with Carmelo Anthony on the cover, me being a Syracuse guy myself.
That's hard, bro.
Like I got that game. I got a lot of I sit here saying like, I get home from work and I don't play video games. Here I am still listing off every fucking PS2 game.
Play vintage video games. Yeah.
The classics, man. The classics, bro.
SSX Tricky and Tony Hawk 1 and 2. Those games probably did more mental damage to me than anything because they made skateboarding and snowboarding look so fucking easy. I was like, oh yeah, you just go 700 feet in the air and do a sick 20 tricks, and then you land fine every time. And then I tried skateboarding with gravity and the real
It didn't
world
go like that
at all. I was like, this is way more difficult than they make it look in this video game. Like wrestling didn't fool me. I was like, yeah, they're just fighting. I get it. I can do that. Just got SSX Tricky. I was like, yeah, you just go down the mountain at 1,000 miles an hour. You do a quadruple backflip and you land on a pipe. Easy, done.
You flip off the board, catch it, put it back on your feet, bro, and everything's straight, bro.
I mean, Tokyo Megaplex. I don't know if you guys remember that map.
No.
That map was tough,
It's like downtown
That map was
Japan.
tough,
And like there was
bro.
these little purple things that you would skate over. They would shoot you like 500 feet in the air. Like how many spins can I pull off?
Bro. I gotta go play SXS Tricky now. I gotta find it first, but man, brought back memories with that.
That's the tough part. Like Buddha saying he kept all his old systems. I was always trading them in when new stuff was coming out because
pennies on the dollar.
I didn't have the space or the funds to be getting new games and stuff like that. GameStop just robbed us blind. Like I don't know how else to call it. Like they had the gun like Missoula wants right in your forehead, and it's just like, yeah, here's all this stuff. Now I bought probably at the beginning of the pandemic, I bought a Game Boy Color because I had just gotten rid of mine
That's
at some
fire.
point. But it cost me like $250. You know, like that's an insane.
Damn.
To find a nice working Game Boy Color in today's day and age, they're not cheap.
That's true, bro. That is, I believe it.
Well, I got that and like Pokemon Blue. I'm pretty sure it has to be blue, and it is a Game Boy Advance. So I would have paid $1,000 for that thing. That's how down bad it was.
The Advance. If we're talking about consoles, the Advance was such a big step up because like if it was like 8:00 and your parents were driving you home, you're in the back seat, you couldn't play Game Boy because you couldn't see. You would need like one of those lights. When the Advance came out and they had that light button, I mean,
that backlight
was the greatest thing. I thought that was the greatest thing ever invented. Friggin'
the backlight was, bro. It changed the world, bro. Oh my gosh.
Did either of you ever have a Game Gear? That thing weighed 75 pounds.
I never had a Game Gear. I don't think I had a game. I probably could have, bro. My parents, my dad was like, he was heavy on buying me video games growing up. I don't know what it was, but like that was my thing, bro. So I probably did have a Game Gear, bro. Like I had the old Nintendo with Duck Hunt. Like I remember playing those all the way up, bro. Like damn near every system. Dreamcast, Saturn, Genesis, everything, bro.
Ooh, I never had a Saturn. That was always funny to me. The antenna.
Sega Saturn, bro. Yeah. I had the Sega Saturn, bro. Weird system.
Very weird. Sega used to try shit because I got the Dreamcast, but I got it specifically after it was already discontinued. I remember I went to Toys R Us. This is the oldest sentence I could possibly say. I went to Toys R Us on my birthday. I got one crisp $100 bill for my birthday. That was it. And they said, go in there, get whatever you want. You can't give a 11-year-old or whatever a better gift. You know what I mean? So I walked in, they had a bundle. It was the Dreamcast with an extra controller. They also had like the pack that went into the controller, which was crazy. And it came with NBA,
for real.
NBA, MLB, and NFL 2K. So, and it was Pedro Moss and Iverson on the colors for $99. $99 on the dot. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I don't care if they never make another game for this system. That's all I needed.
Were you allowed to keep the change?
Classics, bro.
I think I was, yeah, because I don't think taxes were what they were now. I think it was 99 on the dot. Like I think I got
a fucking Twix bar at the exit, man. He was living.
The good old days, bro. The good old days, bro.
I'll tell you what.
Damn.
I'll tell you what. I'm a third child. but it was fucking strict with video games growing up for me. I had 1 hour in the morning to play, and then now my mom wasn't always like this, but I would say 80% of the time.
I thought it was your siblings that was doing this. I was
No,
like,
no,
sounds
no.
about right.
No. I had 1 hour of video games in the morning, and then every other minute that I needed to play video games, I had to read a fucking book. I can't tell you how many times I just sat at the chair for like 15 minutes. I was like, all right, that's 15 pages. I'm going to play game 4. Like, it was
Bro, I
strict.
feel you. I was a straight A student for so long because my parents knew video games and me just work, bro. So as long as I got to play video games, I cut my grades up. And as soon as that went away, woo, life got crazy.
Yeah. As soon as I started noticing the opposite sex, the game just didn't call.
Oh yeah, games. It was just like whatever, bro.
There's still one game I love to play, and that's the Underdog Fantasy App, which I do treat as a game. I go in there, I enter promo code Banner19. I get up to $1,000 in cash back, and I'm already looking towards these Christmas Day games, and I see a lot of opportunity to make it a very Merry Christmas. You get 5 NBA games, 2 NFL games. Make yourself any type of dastardly entry you want to make, and have yourself a Merry Christmas. That's my advice to you and yours. That's my gift to our listeners. But yeah, I got a PlayStation 1 probably right as the PS2 was coming out, because they just dropped the price on them. Go to a nice like KB Toys or something like that, where they had all the inventory right behind. That wall of N64 games did things to me. Just a beautiful
bro.
sight.
It's different time, bro. Different time, bro. Miss it.
Yeah, like I remember having to get the slip at Toys R Us. They had like the window up front. Like after you paid for it, they would hand it to you through the window. That was always fun to me. It was like, like drug deals. I don't know. It was.
I was too young, bro. Yeah, I was too young to get. My mom wasn't letting me get hold no money down in Toys R Us. It would have went over with.
No, it was always after things had gotten paid. Like that was 2K. So that was my 11th birthday. That was the one time. Every other time it was just like, yeah, whatever game I got, you could like go to the window and get it back. But that was always the best, knowing that they were going to hand you a fresh box with all the papers in there. You got to look at the game on the way home. Nothing better.
Oh yeah, I had some deep dive on some game manuals. I had some tricks up my sleeve that nobody knew about. I was like, if you press square and L1 at the same time, like that motherfucker is going to be doing backflips, dude.
Oh yeah, like I used to go to the Madden releases at midnight, like when you could only get physical copies. Me and my boy would go, because it was always during the summer too, so it was still summer vacation. This was older teen years, obviously, but we would go down to Copley, get Madden, take the train home, and then play like the rest of the night. You know what I mean? You're 14, 15, you have endless energy. But the whole ride back, we're just like reading the manual, being like, all right, how am I going to fuck you up in ways you're not reading? And it was the best. Times don't get better. They really don't. Miss it.
Good old days, bro. No bullshit, bro.
Miss it. But I think it's the Switch, the PS2, and I would put the N64.
No, I was about to say, oh yeah, that's another one. Yeah, Switch, PlayStation 2, N64, bro. That I think those are the holy grails for. It's crazy that Nintendo got 2 of them up there, bro.
Listen, I think if you went 5 or 6, that Super Nintendo would be in there. You know what I mean? Like Nintendo's, when they miss, boy oh boy, is it a brutal miss. You know, when Wii U came out, I know people would put the Wii up there.
I put the Wii up there, but not Wii U, bro.
That's what I mean.
Wii was strong, bro.
But the Wii U, strong. The Wii U led you to the Switch. You know what I mean? Their miss led them to a hit even still.
Mm-hmm. True story, bro.
That's actually the question I wanted to follow up with is what would be the worst console that you've ever had? Because I had a PSP and that thing was louder than Stiz's computer like last episode. Like that, like the disc would be spinning and you would fucking hear this thing over and over again. It's like, yeah, I know I'm playing the game.
I love the PSP. I thought the PSP was so good.
Yeah, I was going to say, I love that one. I'm trying to think of my worst, the worst system for me.
PS3 was terrible.
PS3 was bad.
The PS3 was bad, but I like some games on it, bro. Like Grand Theft Auto came out. Grand Theft Auto 5 came out on PlayStation 3. So I can't,
Was
you know
it
what I'm
the
saying?
3? Jesus.
It was the 3, bro.
I just know that the PS3, all the people were like, oh, like you can plug the controllers in, like you don't have to use batteries, like the 360.
It was mad
battery.
big too. It was like 700 pounds.
Remember when the Power Rangers had that big turtle that they were in? That's what the PS3 looked like. It looked like their big mech turtle that they would get housed in sometimes to recover.
I wasn't an Xbox fan. Well, I wasn't an Xbox fan, but I wasn't really playing the Xbox even when I had it. I was so loyal to the PlayStation. I think that's really what it was. I was so loyal to Sony.
College basketball 2010, Blake Griffin on the cover, Xbox 360. If you look up that game, it's like $200. Like that game's super expensive. That game was really, really fun. Really fun.
They'll probably never make a college basketball game too. Like
I was wondering that, like with the NIL now, is that something that's going to come out? Because like I would be freaking pumped up to play.
You would there would be loyal players, but college football is just such a bigger audience than college basketball. I don't think what they would have to pay. I don't know that they would even really make much of a profit on it. So I think that's why.
I guess. I don't know.
I want to play. I was gonna say I kind of want to play with I kind of want to play with some of those kids, bro. No cap, bro. Like I want to play with Ace Bailey. Like bad.
Next year, you could be playing.
College would be fire.
You could be playing with BYU in Brockton Zone. AJ DeBanster.
That's what I'm saying. That'd be fire, bro.
I mean, he might get it done because AJ. He's going to enter the league with more money than really anyone we've seen that isn't a son of a former NBA player. And that's just shout out Brockton. I wish he'd played his whole high school career at Brockton High. I understand that's not how the world works anymore. But can you imagine if he was doing all this still in Brockton, not fucking Utah? How unbelievable that would be. Like even Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag was in Florida all last year. That's the part of the game that no one cares about. But I do miss the prep school to pro route. It's inescapable.
It changed everything, bro. Yeah. Kids who just staying in their high schools that they just grew up in, bro. Like those that would have been fire, bro. That would have been fire.
Buddha, can you imagine? Have you ever played at Brockton High, Buddha? Like
I have not. No.
Have you been to any
games? Bro, those kids are so good at
Brockton,
sports, bro. It doesn't matter what the sport is, bro. They're so good at sports. Basketball,
10,000 kids to pick from. Like,
bro, they're so good at sports, bro. Brockton High is so good at sports, bro. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
The point guard for my AAU team, Kendall Gillians, was Brockton's starting point guard for 2 years, his junior and senior year, which is outrageous. Because I love Kendall. He can't shoot at all. Could never shoot. But he was like Stizz's height and the fastest person you've ever met in your life. Like he would win tournaments of MVP. He would win MVP of tournaments for high school, just defense alone. He'd score 3 points the whole tournament. He was just stripping everyone and then racking up assists. Like he was unbelievable. What he'd told me, and this has been 20 years now, so I may have a little wrong, but what he told me is like, you would just get your 5 and you would just play 5s all day against other 5s. Like there's too many kids at the tryouts to be like, oh, I like number 7. I like number 45. No. They would just pick this 5, that 5, and that 5. There's our 15. They won the most games out of all this competition. So that's our team. Like, it's crazy. And then the guys who didn't make it would transfer and start at CM and BC High and shit. Like they had so much talent. They have it every year.
They had talent, bro. Every year, every generation, bro. To see it still going on, like the fact that it's still going on right now, the number 1 pick is from Brockton High. I was like, bro, yeah, I saw this coming, bro. Because these kids have been good forever. Like forever, bro. Doesn't make sense.
Forever. It's genuinely insane. I wish AJ had done. Did you see his announcement video, you guys? Because it was he got paid
dropped
off the
like
video,
really early in the morning.
He had Red Bull involved. He had someone skydive and hand him the hat, and he put the BYU hat. So he got reportedly $7 million from BYU to go there, and he got paid off the Red Bull deal right there. He's gonna walk into the league richer than people who have been in the league for a few years.
Yeah, no, he will make more money as a freshman in college than
he doesn't
pretty
have
much
to play
all
basketball.
of the first round draft picks.
He could go get his degree.
He could
if he wanted. Like if he wanted to be like, yeah, like right, I'm good. Like I have so much guaranteed already. It's straight. I just got to play a little bit of basketball.
Is it crazy to say like, and actually, it's not crazy to say this at all. It's a bad business decision for him to get his degree. Like he doesn't need it. He doesn't need it.
Oh, horrible business decision. You play a year and then you go get multiple more millions. That's what you do.
He could teach the business course at BY. No one, just from a pure business standpoint, the DeBansta family has absolutely A++ in the NIL scheme. Like in the landscape we're in right now, we haven't seen anyone other than the Michigan football player, which I can't even give him all the credit because that was just a billionaire's wife or girlfriend. I can't remember what her title is. Just being like, hey, can you buy me a quarterback from Michigan? Like credit to him for being that cold as a high school quarterback. You know what I mean? He did that work. If that woman doesn't exist, he gets $5 million from USC or whatever. You know what I mean? He still makes money. AJ picking BYU and shaking them down, living in Utah for a year. Before that, like he'll be there 2 years. He's there now. He'll
plant the seeds, man. Plant them seeds.
Just
like, yeah, I'm gonna go get this bag, bro.
Right. We don't know what he got to go to high school there too. Like I'm sure he got like I couldn't be more proud of the young man. Just showing everyone else, leading from the front, leading by example. That's what Brockton, Massachusetts does.
Long game hustle. That was fire, man. For real, bro.
They're set.
Yeah, he's
set. Like he could stay the 4 years. That house is paid for. Like he could live. He could be like, you know what? I'm cool. This is the whole point. Like we're good. We're good forever off this.
Or we could just keep the plan going. Like every year, just get more millions. Every year, get more millions from high school on. Just get more millions, bro. That's crazy. Crazy path.
Me and Tyler were talking about it today because we were doing our year-end review that we do every year. Stiz got a shout out there for honorable mention song of the year.
My boy.
So I love that. But he may only need 2 contracts to surpass what Soto just got. By the time he's eligible for his first max, what's that number going to be, Buddha? 450 for 5?
Mean, I think it'll be over. I think it'll be over 500 million by the time.
That's what I'm saying.
5-6 years from now, I see tweets and they're like, "Tell your kids to play baseball." It's like Juan Soto gets 760 million. It's like, well, he has to play fucking 15 years. Like Jayson Tatum will get that in 7 years.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, basketball money is just different, man. Different.
I mean, like I think basketball will have the first $100 million contract, and it's coming. It's coming. I mean, if Juan Soto doesn't get $100 million, I don't know how baseball teams are going to value players much higher than that. I mean, he's 26 years old in the prime. Like, if he doesn't get $100 million, I don't know who is. There's some shit NBA players making $40 million right now.
There is a cliff. There is a chasm in terms of the quality of players you can get for that kind of scratch in the NBA for sure. But like Wemby, his second deal, not like his first max, but his second max is definitely going to be 100 a year, 1,000%.
I actually would be interested to see if the CBA,
sense.
Like if the CBA wasn't a thing and it was just like, all right, go negotiate your deals. Like,
goddamn,
fucking Wemby hits the market. What does your pitch look like? What does your contract offer look like? Like if there was no rules, if Steve Cohen could just buy the Celtics and just pitch Wemby on becoming a Celtic, like what would his deal be?
The money would be stupid.
Imagine LeBron going back to the Lakers, like the amount of value that is, not like tickets, jerseys, all that bullshit. Like I cannot imagine the value that LeBron James brought to the Lakers organization when he signed there or going to Miami. Like I don't know what Steve Ballmer's blank check would look like to Victor Wembanyama.
I think if you kept the year maximum at 5 and 4 if you're switching teams, no joke, today, I'm not talking in his prime, I mean today, he would get 4 at $250 a year. He'd get $1 billion over 4 years.
Cole, I don't think that's crazy.
That's so crazy to say, though.
It is. It absolutely is. But it's A, he's got the money. B, he would make that over the 4 or 5 years. Like they would make that for sure. Everyone wants to freak out about the NBA.
Insane.
every conversation I see about the NBA, and I know I ranted about it on Twitter today, I rant about it on every show now because everyone else rants the other side, and it kills me. Every time I hear these conversations, oh, well, look what the NFL's doing. Yeah, look what the NFL's doing. They're trying to get into Germany because they only have one country right now, and it's this one. And that's a big country to have. You definitely want that country. They don't have China. They don't have Japan. You know, they don't have any of those countries. They don't have most of the world, and they never will. The rest of the world's seen football. It's not a new sport. It didn't just show up.
We just got Dubai this year, too. We wouldn't just got Dubai.
The NBA just got Dubai. Like, the NBA is cooking globally. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean the rest of the world hates it. Like, I understand. Yeah, let's focus on these 350 million people. What about the other 7.5 billion? Because they seem to fuck with the vibes. They seem to be cool with this. This money's not coming from nowhere. Like, that ESPN just re-upped. Amazon just re-upped. Turner put towards their offer. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's itching to own part of the NBA, except for people who conveniently start hating the NBA the second the Celtics become one of the most dominant teams you've seen over a 2-year stretch.
It's a conspiracy.
Listen, I've been noticing, and it does add up in my head, because if you go back to the beginning of the Jays' career, what were they saying? Break them up. It'll never work. It'll never work. And that you heard that nationally, you heard that locally. It led programs. It was a leading story throughout the NBA where people who were supposed to be in the know told fans, these guys stink together. It's not going to work. Then they win a championship. Did you hear any apologies, Stiz, Buddha? Did you hear apologies about all that crazy talk over all that time? They tried to vilify us because we don't follow players in Boston. We follow our teams. It's a very college sports mentality in Boston, where it's just like, I fuck with the Patriots, I fuck with the Red Sox, I fuck with the Bruins, and I fuck with the Celtics. If you're not one of those teams, fuck off. If you used to play here and you play somewhere else, yeah, we'll applaud you before the game. During the game, fuck you. You're not in the team anymore. That's everyone else is like, I like Kevin Durant. I like LeBron James. I like Joel Embiid. I'm not from Philly. I don't give a fuck about I don't care about the Eagles, none of that. I just like that player. Well, yeah, if you like players and they're on losing teams, you probably don't love the product that much. If you're constantly arguing with other stands about just your player, what connection do you have to a team? Do you really care about the wins and losses? No, you don't. You care about if that guy did well. That's a bad way to enjoy the sport. And I don't blame any players for that. I know a lot of people would like to blame LeBron for that. But when you look at the media, what is the biggest conversation about Giannis? Is he actually going to stay in Milwaukee, or is he going to go to one of the coasts? Is he going to play to LA? Is he going to go to the Knicks? People have been trying to put stars on the Knicks my whole life. They've been good 2.5 seasons over that stretch. You know what I mean? Like, that's the truth. Like, they're good now.
True story.
But people have been trying to put stars on that team. They haven't deserved stars. They went out and got stars because they started acting serious for once. But that's the like you tell people, oh, these players don't matter if they're in these small markets. I've never heard once you got to get Justin Jefferson out of Minnesota. You got to get that guy on the Chargers because it's in LA. Because that would be an insane thing for the NFL to say. They don't care where people are. The NBA still cares. And yeah, when people in Boston are like, no, we fuck Kyrie Irving. He turned his back on us. And everyone's like, yeah, but he's so good. No one said he wasn't. No one said he was bad at basketball. We hate that he's not here anymore. We agree he's good. We obviously wanted him here because he's good. But yeah, fuck that guy. He turned his back on us. He's like Johnny Damon now. He went to New York. Fuck off. It's that simple. If you're not with us, you're against us. When you only care about players, you have no with us. It's just with him. And when he retires, you're done. So yeah, that's to me the biggest problem. Not the play on the court. It's the way people are taking in the sport, and the lack of being like, you know what, hand up, I was wrong about a team that's so dominant. They set the record for most 50-point wins in a season. They set the record for most 25-point wins in a season. They walked through the finals, and the whole way we held the 1 seed against them. What sense does that make? They were dominant. They were too dominant all year. Like, what? Where's the logic anymore? What's going on, Buddha?
Wait, before that, bro. 2 very strong takes to start the fucking episode today, Coley. Clap it up, bro. That was first the switch take, and now this, bro. Look, I was on the other side of the rant. Like, maybe we are losing ratings and all that, but no, it makes a little bit of sense. But now I'm starting to get it, bro. People need to start embracing their teams. Like, embrace your team, bro. Embrace your teams. Win, lose, or draw. Embrace your team, bro. But go ahead, Buddha. My bad, yo.
No, you know what, Coley? I had like 2 things to say on this podcast because the Celtics just don't play. One of them was about SSX Tricky, and the second thing was about international game. And, for football, right, like it hasn't really reached like an international state, but it's also like, all right, well, if you're going to watch the Olympics or like a worldwide sport, imagine Team USA playing football against like Bosnia, like, Aaron Donald and Patrick Mahomes. I guess the first person I said shouldn't have been retired, but my point remains the same.
Nah, they don't got. Listen, we should only use retired guys. It wouldn't matter.
We would still win. We would still fucking win. Brady
Get
to
Tom
Moss.
Brady his gold medal. Goddamn.
Yeah,
literally.
Brady would be Captain America. No, I think. Correct. Look, NBA ratings are a little bit down right now, like within like America, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of things that like are capturing people's interest right now. The MLB offseason has been a really good like distraction for me as a Celtics fan with really no big time games. I'm very interested in that. We're in the peak of, the NFL regular season as well, which is like a drug. I do think that there are things that the NBA could change to, bring in more followers and more fans. One of the things I had written down was, an expansion, right? I think an expansion would be good for the league. You move Memphis to the Eastern Conference and you add a Seattle and a Las Vegas. I think that adding 2 more teams, evening out the talent a little bit more, I mean, it would really hurt. But if an expansion team took a Derek White from us or took a Drew Holiday from us, that would really sting. But at the same time, it might be good for the league to add in these new venues, these new fan bases, new potential rivalries. I do. And you look at the end season tournament going on right now. You look at that as something that the NBA has looked at to say, hey, we got to, increase regular season value and we have to increase the viewership on the regular season. I think they are trying to make changes, but, ultimately, whether or not the Celtics win on Thursday night, it might affect the 3 of us. I don't really think it affects the Celtics.
No, but
I don't mind watching basketball. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go. I've been talking a lot.
Bro, no, you've been killing it, bro. I don't mind watching basketball on ABC, bro. Can we just bring it back to ABC, NBC, and Fox like how the NFL does it? I think if we do that, it just gets so simple, bro. Like I want to watch the Celtics again. I'm on the West Coast, bro. I would love watching my team. It's really hard to watch my team. I got to go through all the electronics to do it, bro. It's crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I do think it's an underrated part of it, and you don't get really affected on the coast. Like I even get Spectrum Lakers games out here just because I have Spectrum. But if you're in the middle of the country, the regional sports networks have kind of disappeared for the last couple of years because Bally tried to overnight. They showed up and then they were gone just as quickly as they showed up. I know Minnesota Twins fans couldn't watch their team for a lot of the season because they just didn't have a network at all. So I do think there's something to like, yeah, I'll never be able to watch the Patriots on something that isn't national. Like they might not be airing it in my region, but it's going to be on a CBS and NBC and Amazon and Netflix, something that has coast to coast capabilities. The NBA, it was hard for me in Maine, not even like just in New England still. It was hard for me to find a service that offered both NESN and NBC Sports. Like it was not, YouTube TV doesn't do it. I think Fubo might, but I don't believe in a company named Fubo. It just doesn't sound like staying power. And like even Spectrum, when I called them, it took like an hour for them to be like, wait, you want both? I was like, yeah, I would like to be able to watch Red Sox. Is no one else doing this? Am I the only one even asking you this? I couldn't have had a more confused, like both of us were confused because I was asking for something that I've always had my whole life. And they were like, I don't even know if that's possible. It was like the most confused. That's for real teams. These middle of the country teams, I can't imagine how difficult it's been the last couple of years just trying to watch your own team. So I don't care too much about the ratings. I think it's kind of an antiquated way to look at it. When you look at the conversation constantly around basketball, it tells me plenty of people are still tuned in. Even on a surface level, they know what's going on. But I do think when I look at everything, I end up blaming the media for most of it. They tell you the product stinks. Skip Bayless for 20 years has told you LeBron James is bad. You know
every
what I mean?
episode.
Every
morning, bro.
If the top guy in the sport you're told is bad, of course you think everyone else sucks. If that guy's bad, no one's as good as him, so they have to suck if that guy stinks. So that couldn't have helped. It could not have helped. And now he's leaving. So all the shitty guys are here. That's what we get to watch. It's not a great way to sell the product. During the NBA Cup semifinals, the NBA.com preview said, it's Rockets Thunder. I know no one wanted to watch that. What are you doing, man? You've got the 1 and the 3 seed playing. You can't sell that game to young, exciting teams. What's wrong with you, NBA?
You know what's a crazy concept? Go ahead, Stiz.
No, go ahead, bro.
No, I was just going to say, you know what's a crazy concept is like kids that are born today are never going to understand like channels and how that works.
No.
Like now it's just networks. Like, do you remember the nostalgia of typing in like 851 and then 852 and then you're the last
how to
button,
memorize, bro.
576 to 577. All right, I'm gonna catch the bottom of the 8th, and then I'm gonna go watch the 4th quarter of the Celtics. Like switching back and forth between those two different things. Not having a last button on YouTube TV. Maybe if there is, let me know, people. But not being able to just go back and forth between the two. I mean, I used to be a wizard with the clicker. Like I would feel like anxiety if I didn't have the clicker in my hands. Like I need it. I'm good with it. Commercial, boom, mute, move to the other one. Let's see where we're at. Let's get a score check. Now I'm going to check in on TNT because I got the other game going on. Check in on the college basketball game over on ESPN2. Like, I felt like I was in more control with the clicker 5 years ago 10 years ago than I am today, or will ever be.
I'm with you, Buddha. 100%. I'm feeling adamant about it now. We might need to get a petition going. We really got to bring back. Bro, we got to bring back ABC, NBC, Fox for basketball, bro. Like, I feel like, bro, the kids need that, bro. The same way we felt that nostalgia is going to be gone, bro. That's the reason why I kind of fell in love with sports, bro. I was just able to come home and just watch them. You know what I'm saying? Before I knew who this guy was and that guy was, and that's why I'm a Boston fan. You know what I'm saying? Before I learned the name of any of these guys, it was just my team was on that night when I get home from football practice. My teams were on. You know what I'm saying? My dad was already watching sports. So let's get it going. You know what I'm saying? And the kids are going to miss out on that, bro. The kids are going to miss out on their father falling asleep on the couch. You still on the remote, switching last, going back and forth game to game because you got to finish the tradition, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's over with for that.
The no back button's huge. The not starting on time, which is a thing me and Tyler have talked about a lot. NBA tip-offs, you might be 17 minutes after it says it's about to tip off. And with no back button, Buddha, these all go hand in hand because you're not going to a different channel where you can go back with just one click. You're going to a different app. You're at Netflix now. You're in HBO Max. You know what I mean? You're somewhere, you're on a different planet. You're in a different country at this point, digitally. To go back to the game, you got to exit out. You got to go open something else. It takes a second to load. It's a hassle. Like it's not, I've already made my choice. If it's not the Celtics, like the Celtics I'm waiting for. If it's another game and I'm like kind of into it, but it's still Doris Burke talking to Stan Van Gundy. And I know you're not like, they haven't even shown the lineups yet. They go to commercial. We know I'm going to come back. No, I'm out. And I bet a lot of people like that. Stuff.
Also, like Stiz, you have such an advantage because like West Coast time's so different. You know what I mean? Like if a game starts at 8:30 and I got to hear fucking Doris Burke yapping until 8:55, maybe I'm not going to stay up for the 4th quarter. You know, like I need like, all right, 8:30, like let's fucking go roll the ball out and let's play. I don't need to hear about, Jayson Tatum's development with his left hand and he's shooting more mid-range jump. No, fuck off. I don't care. I want to see him play against the other team. The other thing about ABC is, that broadcast has just taken such a hit, like since they fired Van Gundy and Jackson. Like Breen, Van Gundy, and Jackson, hand down, man down, Lakers down by 7, gives me goosebumps to this day. Like I miss those people and them moving on from them and bringing in Doris Burke and then JJ Redick and then Doc Rivers and then the other Van. It's like, what are we doing? You had a great thing going, and Mark Jackson wasn't going to get another job. You had a great thing going.
You know what I wouldn't mind now that I'm just thinking about it, bro? Why doesn't NBA TV just do what its name is and play NBA games all day long?
Need some sort of red zone.
Play the
some sort of red zone.
That's what I'm saying. I want to see games that are going on that day. The repeats of that, like all of the games, just let them play out for the entire day, and then the repeats go on that night. and then they run on to the morning until the next day of games run on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why they wouldn't actually use the network properly, bro. I don't care about any of the anything they got going on the other shows, bro, besides recaps.
They used to have good studio shows where they'd get like 8-9 legends and they would just talk about the old days.
Way back in the day, bro. Oh, man.
I'd watch those all the time, but I agree now. They did try a red zone type thing. I don't think it really works for basketball. It's too high paced. Like NFL, they could show you 24 NFL games. I know you can't even have that many, but they could show you that many and you could literally watch all of them and you wouldn't miss anything because that's how slow the NFL is. Like you're talking about 6 scores per game total. That's just when you really break it down to baseball numbers, there's not a lot of scoring in the NFL. I saw people last night, honest to God, Stiz, I saw people live tweeting the Raiders and the Falcons were playing. That was the game people were live tweeting. So I don't want to hear people have this like high taste quality bar that the NBA isn't reaching when you're watching fucking Raiders, Falcons. And there's not a single year you can point to in the history of the NFL and tell me that was a good game. Not one. So I don't want to fucking hear that the NBA is got a quality issue. It's for sure the NBA's fault. But the NFL,
facts.
The level of professionalism, the NFL, what do they do every Sunday? 1 p.m., that ball is kicked off across America. Not 1:17, not 1:07, 1 p.m.
On the dot.
On the dot. Scott Hansen starts off in the octabox because he's like, they all kicked off. I promise you. Look, here's the football. And we're going to key in on one. That's what but the NBA couldn't do that. They have no idea if they had 8 games with 7:05 tip-off times, they're not all of them are going to start within a 10-minute range of each other. You know what I mean? They won't all start at the same time. They could make that change tomorrow. They could implement like, hey, the game starts at 7. They could make that change tomorrow and they just don't. It's insane to me. Genuinely insane to me. Not even national, just everywhere. Tell the refs, jump ball. Like, what are we doing?
Add 7. Just send a mass text. Literally. Send a mass text. Hey, yo, we're starting games. Add 7. Simple, bro.
It's so simple. It drives me insane. It feels very MLB the way they're doing all this to themselves. It feels very self-inflicted. Where if they just talked about this, the tagline for the NBA used to be, I love this game. And everyone who covers it clearly hates basketball. And it shows. It shows in the way they talk about it. I don't give a fuck what 2 teams are playing. I really don't. Sell it to me. Tell me why this is important. You told me Nikola Jokic sucked for years. He's got 3 MVPs, might win his 4th this year. Probably is going to win his 4th this year. And you've told me for 3 of them, this guy, he didn't win any rings. What do you mean? He hasn't won yet. And then he won. And you gave the MVP to Embiid because he's done so much in the playoffs. Like, what? You can't even stick to your shitty logic. You know what I mean? Like, it's just bad logic everywhere.
Why do you think basketball media is like that? Now I'm even thinking about it because, like, when I think of other sports, bro, like, even when guys disagree on like who on player, like who their favorite players, they won't like bash another guy. You know what I'm saying? Like when we talk about like a greatest in basketball, it's always this guy's, you know what I'm saying? This guy's better than, and this other dude sucks. You know what I'm saying? There's no like both can be great type thing in basketball. And I don't know why it's like that, bro. Because in every other sport, you could lift up both players, bro. I could like Pat Mahomes and like Tom Brady. I don't like Tom Brady, but I can. You know what I'm saying? I can.
But if you were debating them, you would be like, listen, they played head to head. Mahomes was great. He never came out on top. Like you could just talk about it like that. With this, I really don't want it to be like I'm blaming LeBron. But the LeBron MJ conversation should be more enjoyable than it is. Someone like me, who was blessed enough to watch half of Jordan's career, like that second half after he retired the first time, and all of LeBron's career, man, if those are the 2 best basketball players I ever see, what a treat. You know what I mean? What an absolute delight. And yeah, I think Jordan was better. I don't think that means LeBron was unplayable swill. Like I think he was quite good as well. You know what I mean?
That's what we need in sports media. We need Skip and Stephen A to do a 1 hour like first take reenactment. And we need 15 minutes is going to be on Jordan versus LeBron. 15 minutes is going to be on Brady versus Mahomes. Like, come up with the 4 topics that would just be the most incredible collaboration of those 2 careers. Like, imagine like the live.
That'd be hard, bro.
There was like
if that's how they won out. That'd be hard. I wouldn't be mad if that's how they won out. That would be so fire.
As long as the end game is the debates are over forever, you know what I mean? Like as long as it's just like, listen, this is the last time anyone's
they never
ever,
talk about this again.
you will be Luigi'd in broad daylight if you bring this up again. I promise you. Do not fix your lips to talk about it again, because it's, I don't know, like Peyton Brady back in the day. I don't want to act like everyone was gentlemanly about it. Like it was for sure. Fuck you said.
You couldn't be.
I like Peyton was always cold. You know what I mean? When they started putting when you used to play the Colts in Madden against the Colts, because I've never played with them. When you'd play against them and they let him start audibling when he was the computer, you knew he wasn't going to snap it until there was one on the clock, because he was going to audible, because that was what he was doing in real life. And it was just like, God damn, this is annoying. I can't imagine how tough this is in real life. If in the video game, it's giving me stress. I don't know why you can't like with Jayson. I almost think Jayson Tatum needs to become more hateable, because like, I think he's even the people who hate him don't really hate him. They're like, he's cool. I don't think he's top 5. Like I need people to despise. He went to Duke and he's a Celtic. Easy enough. And he's a beautiful man. Hate him. Just start really hating him, because right now it's not enough. It's not enough. There's not enough vitriol against him.
Don't you think it's coming though? Like, you know, like Durant, for example.
Oh, yeah.
And again, I know Durant had swapped teams. He left Oklahoma City for the, 73-9 or whatever it was, Warriors. But I feel like when Durant was in Oklahoma City in his first stretch, like he was a beloved player. I remember rooting for Kevin Durant until he went to Golden State. I think the longer you get in your career, the more success you've had, the more hate. And we forget, because Tatum has been playing in the league for fucking 15 years, but people forget that he's on the right side of 30. Like he's 27, 28 years old. Like he has plenty of time to, I want to see what the hatred looks like from 28 to 33, because it's not going to be one championship that people are knocking. And I think he's going to be in the MVP conversation for the next, 7-8 years, I would say. The question for me is he going to be able to get over that hump for an MVP? And that's not going to be a defining career moment for me, but I know it will be for the rest of the media, and I know it will be for other fans. Wow, he never won an MVP, he never did this, never did that. Well, LeBron James won 4 MVPs. He probably should have 10 in the cabinet right now.
Right.
Because I'm sorry, but some of the people who win MVP just, all right, yeah, you did it for a 7 seed. Congratulations. Like Russell Westbrook, you averaged 30, 10, and 10, but were you more valuable to your team that year than LeBron James? Like, I don't know.
I think yes.
Well, I think he's on his way, man. I think it's on his way. You know what it is, bro. Success kind of like breeds that kind of like, people get tired of it, and I already see it now, man. Well, we all see it now, but I started seeing like the memes of JT and Kobe at this age, and it's and how comparable they are. And when I start seeing stuff like that circulating, I'm like, oh yeah, here it comes, bro. You know what I'm saying? And we know he's gonna be in the talks for MVP for a few years to come, and he's just now not kind of scraping his prime. You know what I'm saying? He's not even there yet. I feel like in the next 2 years is when we're really going to start seeing our boy for real bloom. I mean, every year he's great. How many
championships would you sign off on right now if you could sign the contract? Jayson Tatum is going to finish his career with X number of titles.
I see 4, bro, and that's an honest 4, and that's an honest 4. Like I could see him getting this. I could see him getting this back to back, and maybe squeaking another in a year or two, and then like catching another one in the back half. You know what I'm saying? Like I could really see 4 coming.
Like kind of exactly like Steph.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The same way. Unless he runs off like a run, like I said, like I feel like he is scraping his prime, bro. And like if this kid gets better, you know what I'm saying? Like what are we really talking about? LeBron's gonna be out of here soon. Like this kid's getting better and better.
He's been out of here.
You know what I'm saying? Like
you talk about someone not in the way.
I mean, yeah, he's out, but I'm talking about like as far as like the
face of the league,
media. Yeah, he'll finally be able to get a fair shot at the face of the league, bro. And he's really starting to hit his stride. And bruh, if he really starts to get in that like Kobe bag in like 2 or 3 years, oh my God, bro, what are we talking about? It's gonna get disgusting.
I think he would have a strong MVP case this year if Nikola Jokic got hit by like multiple buses. I don't think one bus could take out Jokic. I really don't. Because we would right now, the only way he wins it this year is if Jokic simply doesn't play 65 games. That's really the only way. I think it's kind of already won. And I don't even like it's deserved. He's incredible. It's going to be for another 7 seed, but it's deserved. Like it's not his fault they're a 7 seed
at all.
But Tatum, I think that's his path. I don't know. He's just such a solid player. If Jokic does, I don't even know what a down year for him looks like, but I think there will be fatigue again. Like after he won the first 2, there was fatigue. I think there'll be fatigue again after he wins this year and probably next year. I think that's when Tatum can take one of those. But 4, I think 3-4, especially in this era, would be quite an accomplishment.
So Cole, if I put a contract in front of you right now and said Jayson Tatum is going to finish with 3 career championships, all with the Celtics, would you sign that contract?
Yeah, definitely. It's guaranteed 2 more for sure. Yeah,
guaranteed 2 more.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm like really confident about the 2 more here too. Like
that's why I might not sign it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why I might not sign it, because I think he's going to get to 3. The question is, can he get more? I think they're going to win it this year. I mean, Milwaukee and Oklahoma City, they're playing in the NBA Cup. This is the closest they're going to get to the NBA Finals. Like, hang a banner for your freaking NBA Cup that no one gives a shit about.
True story. I definitely think we win it this year, and if he that's what I'm saying. He keeps on the trend that he's on right now of getting better every year, bro. And in 2 years, bro, we're looking at a different guy. You know what I'm saying? Like he's fully matured, fully playing the game differently. Him and JB find a way to play. They don't play the same way they did like 2 years ago, or even in the bubble, or you know what I'm saying, or you know what I'm saying. Like they find a way to be better every single year as basketball players. Yeah, they get better at scoring, obviously, but they're just better thinking. Right. You know what I'm saying? And these kids start settling in 2 years. Oh my gosh, bro! I really do. I'm confident about that too. But if they like start to exceed that, I wouldn't be surprised either.
So like the way I look at it is, they obviously have this year, and if they want it next year with KP too, and they've already won 1 without him. Obviously, he helped them get there. I'm not trying to take away any of his accomplishments last year, but when it was nut crunching time, he contributed once, and it was great, and it was massive. But that was it. It was game 1 of the finals. I think it's going to be a weird summer coming up. Even if they win, I think Brad will shop KP because it's kind of the only contract he has to move, and it's an expiring. You can't extend him. None of that. Derek with the 2 J's, that is the trio. You know what I mean? And Pritchard, if he wants to keep doing this, that it's tremendously helpful. I very much enjoy that part of it. What did Hauser get? 4 years too? Buddha?
4 years. Yeah. But I think that's another, again, we'll see what happens, like what Brad does with the rest of the roster and how the CBA is affected. But, I think Hauser's another movable contract where I think other teams can look at him, and if he's got 2 rings on his finger and shot it well in 2 NBA finals, I mean, I think he could be a guy that people would go out and attract. And the scenario you're laying out, Coley, is the scenario that Celtic fans don't want to hear. But at a certain point, there are going to have to be subtraction to this roster for money purposes, and especially with the ownership.
It's ceiling purposes, because I do think, I think Wick, and this isn't like the nicest thing to say, I think he's avoiding selling the team as long as possible, hoping the old man kicks the bucket and he doesn't have to sell the team. That's how it feels. Obviously, I don't know what kind of multi-billion-dollar conversations he's been having. That could be super wrong, but I know how much he cares. I know how much he wants to just see this thing through. So I think he's just like, maybe we just hold out a little bit, and I don't have to sell ever. But it's more like you got to maximize the window. Brad's going to have to nail a random draft pick. Like he's going to need that kind of luck, because I think the team's set up for these next 2 years to still be the best team in the league. After that, what happens with Kristaps? Do you trade him for Triple J if Memphis decides they don't want to max him out? And you
good luck scoring.
Do you trade? I think we'll be fine. Oh, against us? Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
But it's like, you look at the size of the deals. Sam Hauser makes what, 10? Like, you really can't get anything of value for that. That would be a salary dump, and I don't think that's what they're interested in. Drew maybe can get you something back if you want to move him in 2 years, but that has to be when he's got like 1 year left on his deal, and the other team's only doing it for salary relief. So it's interesting. Like, we have all our picks. Brad's going to have to nail one of those, or he's going to have to nail another Derek White level trade, which I think he's going to start getting a reputation. Don't trade with that guy, especially once he's got more rings on his finger. It's going to be tough. So I just think the Jays being as great as they are, they can win this year. That's one. That next one, I think, will be more difficult because you also don't know what these other teams are going to do. You don't know who's going to move. I saw
bro.
Before we got on, the Nuggets are looking at Levine, which doesn't really scare me, but he's better than everyone else they've got out there, and he's looked healthy this year. So if Jokic just really only needs one guy,
honestly,
that's enough. That could definitely be enough. If Murray can be healthy for a month and a half with Levine, that can be a terrifying duo.
That's tough. Yeah, that's tough. True story.
Again,
bro.
Buddha, I don't disagree with you. Levine himself doesn't move me. Jokic right now, I've said on this show, I'm not worried about the Nuggets, but it's because of how the Nuggets are constructed. If they have anyone with a pulse playing out there, and right now Levine does, I don't know that Jokic needs a lot more to be a formidable threat.
I think my only thing about Jokic
he doesn't.
Is like for them, and not that Levine is like an ascending player. Like I don't think he's getting any better at this point in his career.
No,
but I think the Nuggets have a really, really small window here. Like, I think Jokic is a guy that in 2 or 3 years, we're going to get a random Shams bomb of, hey, Jokic is done. Like, he's not playing anymore.
Horses,
he's going to be,
I don't think so.
I think he's retiring. I don't know if he does.
He loves basketball. He hates.
I think he loves basketball. Yeah, I think he loves basketball.
He hates celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
I think he loves horses, man.
He does.
Like the way he plays basketball, you can't not love basketball with his play style. You know what I'm saying? He plays basketball too well, bro.
3 years from now, it's a lot of mileage. It's a lot of mileage. And he's going to play with Jamal Murray, who's not healthy, and Michael Porter Jr. is going to have back issues for the next 5 years, and they didn't trade for Levine. The Nuggets got problems. They
Jokic
do,
is,
but Jokic is putting his whole organization on the back to be a fucking 7 seed right now. That's brutal.
And that's why I think that's why I think he loves it. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't be going this hard, like trying to win, trying to get to the playoffs if he didn't love it, bro. Because he knows how good he is. He knows he could go out there and literally sniff it, bro. Throw a triple-double out there every night. I know I could do that, bro. But he's actively trying to get these boys drag their dead corpse across the finish line, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's how I know he loves basketball. I know he doesn't like anything else about it, but yeah, he gets a Zach LaVine. Now I'm a little bit worried.
He's gonna see Wemby in 2 years. He's gonna see Wemby, and he's gonna be like, "All right, fuck this, I'm out of here." Listen, like, Jesus Christ.
I love Wemby. At no point are they going to be able to cover each other. Like Wemby will never be able to cover Jokic. He's me trying to cover an oak tree. Like it's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? Like he's just too burly of a boy. Nikola Jokic.
True story.
He's a monster.
He's too smart, bro. He's just too bro. Like Wemby's going to need so much more IQ, so much more experience, and he's just not going to get there with the age gap, bro. He's just not going to get there.
The physicality too, like Wemby. Like I said, I don't think either is ever going to be able to cover the other, but he's just never going to be strong enough. Like it's just impossible. Like Porzingis never going to be strong enough. That's just how. That's where Embiid. That would be such a great matchup if Embiid liked basketball. If Embiid liked basketball as much as Jokic did. Oh, I would talk about Will Chamberlain.
True story.
Like, I don't know what we'd be looking at, but it's not what we've seen out of Philadelphia, who we do play on Christmas. We'll have another show before then. But that's a game I think the NBA wrote on the calendar. Like, we smoked that. These teams hate each other. This will be great. And I couldn't care less.
Philly can't get it figured out, man.
No, they stink.
Tough on them.
And Jared McCain's out. That did suck. He was so good this year.
Yeah, that sucked, bro. Tough on them, bro.
No reason for me to hate him yet. I'm sure it'll get there over the years. But right now, I don't.
Right now, he's neutral. He's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not right on a lot of NBA players, but I was wrong on him. Like, I did not think his game was going to translate. I did not think he was going to be a key piece to that team. No, I wasn't impressed with him last year, and he's putting numbers up. Like,
bro.
It's unreal. It's unreal.
I don't know. His offense was just so smooth at Duke. It felt like to me he was playing a pro game in college, which doesn't always look right in college. College is so stupid. Like when I see Cooper Flagg's shooting numbers right now with Duke and people are like, this kid sucks. Well, he's 17.
Bro, it's stressing me out, bro. It's stressing me out.
But he's he's hooping.
Just go watch him. That's what I'm saying. They don't, nobody. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, you go because you're right.
Bro, just watch him play. All you have to do is it's that simple. Just watch him. Just go watch him, bro. Stop looking at the box score. Stop listening to what ESPN is telling you, please, bro. Like, and I'm not even saying it, bro. Don't listen to the podcast. Don't listen to us. Just go watch him. Just go watch him hoop, and then come back to us and tell us what you think. You know what I'm saying, bro?
There's so much made. Oh, what was his effective field goal percent? I don't give a fuck. Dude, he's 17 playing on the road in D1, and he put up 28 and 17. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, I would love when he's
stud.
Year 7. I do think it again. No, they don't like they love hyping up number 1 picks to these unfathomable heights. You watch any draft for the NBA, the first 3 picks, like immediate comparisons are first ballot Hall of Famers. And it's just like, that's not helping. That's not helping anyway. Like Anthony Bennett, they're like, I see a lot of Sean Kemp. No, you don't. No, you do not. So this, like, Cooper Flag's been sold as like white LeBron, which he is not. And like no one ever will be. And that's fine. But what he should be, it's like, hey, this guy could be Andrei Kirilenko. If you could tell me at the beginning of a draft, I'm getting Andrei Kirilenko first overall, I'm thrilled with that. But it sets my expectations to like borderline all-star, but a guy who's going to stuff the stat sheet. Love that. If you're telling me I'm getting Sean Marion, love that. First overall, when everyone else is a question mark, yeah, I'll take that first overall pretty much every year. So that's recalibrate a little. Use someone people know. Don't make it a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's not Larry fucking Bird. And that's okay. Crazy. I got to teach the media how to do their goddamn job every week. So
there's a great picture of like when David, this is so random, but when David Montgomery was a running back at Iowa State, and it's like vision, it's like LaDainian Tomlinson, athleticism, like Adrian Peterson. It's like the craziest thing. I'm like, all right, it's like, it's a good back, but like, come on.
Yeah, why didn't he go first? Why?
Yeah. Running back in the first round.
They're always setting people up to fail just so when they do fail, they can be like, man, he had such high expectations. Who made the expectations? He didn't come in the league being like, I'm going to be this player. Watch, check it out. Now, Ant did, and Ant's lived up to it. So I respect that. You get another level of respect. Ja did the same thing. Like, you will get players to do that. Jalen came in, he said, I'm going to go to war for the city. And what has he done? Time and time again.
Going to war.
Stayed true to his word. And shout out JB. I know we're not going to talk about these last 2 games a lot because they didn't matter. They were inconsequential. I know I've ranted about viewership. I watched the games, and I like that the Celtics, I don't worry about them anymore. Remember 3 years ago, we would play a team like the Wizards and be like, man, I hope we don't fuck around. I hope we just take care of business. And they would always fuck around. They don't fuck around anymore. Even if it's an ugly game, even if the shots aren't falling, I feel 100% confidence that they're walking out of there with a dub every time.
It makes me so nice to feel like I could go work out and watch the Celtics and come back for workout and, you know, watch the Celtics a little bit more in the third quarter and go back to do what I'm doing. And then they win the game. It makes me feel really nice to know I could do that now, bro. Even when teams inch back with their little 10, you know, get back into 10 points and stuff like that. Bro, that used to really trouble me. That used to really make me feel away. A 10-point lead used to make, I'd be like, bro, not again. But now, bro, my boys handle business. It's just confident hoops. Yeah, it was a nasty games. A lot of we gotta do something about the turnovers. We gotta do something about the turnovers. These last 2 games. I didn't like that. But besides, come on, bro. Handling business. Love it, bro. Tired of seeing Washington and Detroit. We don't play them again for a little bit, right?
I think we're done with Washington, period. I hope.
Thank God. The Celtics have more wins in Washington this season than the fucking Wizards do.
It's crazy.
Like, just let that one marinate. I've been sitting on that
good for
like
us or bad
3
for them?
days. That's terrible.
That's terrible. They still only have 3 wins, right? They beat the Hawks twice and they somehow beat the Nuggets. That's it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
They beat the Hawks twice?
Yeah, back to back. It was a tough scene. It was like right after the Hawks beat us, too. They went, bro. Went to Washington, got their teeth kicked in,
bro. The Hawks were so confusing, bro.
Did you guys see the Magic Johnson comments on why he didn't draft Jayson Tatum?
Oh,
essentially,
no. Please tell me.
Essentially, Magic says, you know, when I was the GM of the Lakers, whatever fake title he had with the Lakers, he was the decision maker with the Lakers. He said, you know, we had the 2nd pick and Jayson Tatum's agent didn't want him to work out with the Lakers. Shout out Jayson Tatum's agent. But he's like, he didn't want him to work out with the Lakers because they already had forwards. And as a GM, we already had a bunch of forwards. So I didn't want to draft a forward because they had Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, and Larry Nance. And those are the three guys he used as an example. Can you imagine someone being like, hey, do you want a filet mignon? And you're like, no, wait a minute, man. I'm eating a hot dog right now. I'm good. Like, I don't need that. Like,
but
Julius Randle? You're talking about a first ballot Hall of Famer in Jayson Tatum. He's going to go down as a top 15 player in the history of the fucking game. He's going to win 4 championships because Scully didn't sign the contract for 3.
They took Kuzma in that draft too. So that makes even less sense. They took another forward.
They did take another forward.
He's like, oh, JT would have come off the bench. I'm like, what?
Well, listen, hey, Josh Jackson. Josh Johnson's a quarterback. Josh Jackson canceled while Danny Ainge was in the air on the way to go watch his workout. He canceled the workout with the Celtics while they were over Kansas City or some shit. Turned the plane around to go home because he was like, listen, if I go to that team, I'm not going to play. I'm going to be on the bench. Tatum didn't really want to come here because he didn't think he was going to play. Both of them thought they were going to Phoenix. One of them was right. And thank God it was Josh Jackson, who I did like. I was just wrong about because Tatum's been a lifesaver. I had Tatum 5th in that draft. And I look like an asshole, even though that's not even a bad pre-draft rating for a guy. It's not like I said he was going to be 40th. I had him 5th.
Who else?
And it was wrong. I mean, I was high on Fultz. If he didn't,
that was a stacked draft, bro. Ball, that was a stacked
Jackson,
draft, bro.
And then who else?
I don't know that I even had Jackson ahead of him. I'm trying to go back. That was the Jonathan Isaac draft. I was high on Jonathan Isaac, and Jonathan Isaac did kind of stuff Tatum in a locker at Florida State. Tatum could not deal with his length very well, but I was very high on Isaac. Glad we didn't do that. That would have been bad.
Was that the Donovan Mitchell draft?
Was it? Because he won. Yeah, he won. No, he was second in rookie of the year to Ben Simmons, who was taken the year prior. So yes,
year before he was the Jalen year. Okay,
I wasn't high on Donovan Mitchell. Not like I was out on him. I didn't have him ahead of Tatum though. It was probably Dennis Smith. I probably had Dennis Smith in my top 5.
Was that the last stack draft? Like, what was the last stack draft that we had, bro?
I mean, the Luka draft was pretty strong. When was Fox? When was the Fox draft?
I'm about to go look at this.
Fox was the Tatum draft. That's what it is. So you probably had Lonzo, Jackson, Fox, and Isaac ahead of him.
I would have had
maybe
Fox
not Jackson.
I was very high on Fox. So I probably had the 3 point guards, Dennis Smith, De'Aaron Fox, and people who listen to Mixtape back then, they can tell me, I'm sure of it. But I was very high on Jonathan Isaac. So I probably had those 3 guards, Isaac, and then Tatum.
This was a good draft.
This was a really good draft. Really good draft.
Really good. When has it been a really good draft, bro? It's been a minute. Bro, you remember the draft had tradition too? Bro, that used to be so fire back in the day.
And if somebody can pull his name, you are an absolute genius. Who was the center that the Celtics drafted? I think he was like Brazilian. I don't think he played in college. Unreal. Eamon, I want this clipped, and I want a picture of that motherfucker with the Celtics hat on.
Who is he? Bebe Nguero?
It was Lucas Bebe Nguero, and he was traded in the Kelly Olynyk draft. I believe we traded him to the Mavericks, and he was immediately traded to the Raptors, if I remember that correctly.
That was the year we didn't get Giannis, and we got Kelly Olynyk?
Oh, yes, the hat's very funny because he had the biggest Anderson Varejao afro you've ever seen.
It's incredible.
Oh, yeah, did that. Pull that up, please.
It's a very funny picture. But yeah, maybe it was even the Hawks. I don't know. I feel like he put on 4 hats.
That sounds right.
It may have been the Hawks, but it was weird. I was so furious. I was so high on Giannis, and I know that sounds like I'm lying now, but I was so high on Giannis coming into that draft, especially with where we were at as a team.
Have you ever seen the Toronto GM like talking about how he wanted to trade up for Giannis, and then there's like the clip of him in the room, like on the phone trying to trade up. He's like, fuck, I think Milwaukee's going to take him. Like if I was the Toronto Raptors GM, I would be playing that clip over and over and over again. I knew Giannis was going to be an MVP. I knew he was going to be finals MVP. I knew he was going to be a champion.
That
was a call, bro. Cause he did not, I didn't, when he got drafted, bro, I was just like, all right. You know what I'm saying? He didn't look the part at all, bro.
That draft was so bad at the top. Like it was honestly, it was like last year's draft. Like it was mostly role players. And I remember watching those Giannis fucking YMCA games he was playing over in Greece. And he would just dribble once and clear the court. I was like, I don't care what his competition is. Like I've never seen that before. Like, I don't know if
I've
this
never
guy's
seen
gonna
run
be
and
good.
jump just work.
Yeah, like from that far away. I was like, there's something, I don't know. His name wasn't even Antetokounmpo back then. It was just Antitok. Like I have old tweets that were like, I like this Antitok kid. And I was doing like podcasts back then that were just like, you'd be on a phone with like other people and someone would record it and it would go out. And I remember doing a mock draft and I think I had like the third pick and I took Giannis and everyone like laughed and rolled their eyes. And I was just like, who else is going in this draft? And I remember being like, please don't take Kelly Olynyk. There was a stretch where I think it was back-to-back drafts. Every player I didn't want is who we took. I didn't want Jared Sullinger. I didn't want Fab Melo. And I didn't want Kelly Olynyk. And it was just bang, bang, bang. And I just stopped talking. I was like, I'm not going to say who I don't want the Celtics to draft anymore. And things got better from there. Things got much better.
That's tough, bro.
I'm looking at this 2017 NBA draft. Like here are some names for you. Adebayo went 14th. John Collins went 19th. Jared Allen 22. OG 23. Kyle Kuzma 27. Derek White 29. Josh Hart 30. In the second round, guys like Jordan Bell. He won multiple championships with Golden State. Thomas Bryant, Isaiah Hartenstein, Dylan Brooks. Monte Morris, he's been fantastic.
Class.
I mean, holy crap, that was a deep draft. And I would be remiss if I didn't bring it up. Round 2, pick 37, maybe my favorite Celtic of all time, Semi Ojeleye. Semi Ojeleye played high school basketball in Kansas, and he played like Division 6 high school basketball. It was literally like 4'11" kids, and then Semi Ojeleye. He has the greatest high school stats of all time. He averaged like 55 points a game for Kansas high school basketball. He went to Duke.
I can't imagine.
He went to Duke. He won the dunk competition. It's a good video to go back on because Semi was still just as big as he is now. He was absolutely massive. Transferred to SMU. People forgot about him. And then I had a bet with my brother going for when Semi was with the Celtics that his career earnings was going to be over $50 million. It was not one of my better takes. Not one of my better takes.
I mean, you had the vision. He had the defense. If he'd just been a slightly better shooter, he could have beat.
Honestly,
I thought he was going to be PJ Tucker.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't think your process was wrong. I think Semi was wrong. It's his fault.
Got to develop that 3, baby. Especially trying to play for us.
They used to tell the story about Semi, like he wouldn't play, like Brad wouldn't play him because obviously we were loaded and we were very deep. And then after the game, you would just hear him in the weight room throwing a medicine ball just against the wall. Like Tatum's trying to like tie his shoes, and all you hear is doom, doom, doom. Like Semi is just throwing this ball, taking out his energy.
You needed to shoot, man. All you gotta do is shoot, baby.
Yeah, I think he was simply too strong for the NBA. Like I think that happens.
If he shot it a little bit better, he wasted generational wealth. Generational wealth. Semi, I would take you today on this roster.
I was very high on Semi.
On this roster?
I would take Semi Ojeleye today, and I would start using my coins because that guy would beat the crap out of everybody.
All right, I get it.
He would be a good coin guy. He'd be an unbelievable
coin
guy. Just stand there and flex, and the other guy's like, you know what? Here's my coin. You win. Yeah, I'm all set. We've got the Bulls coming up Thursday, finally. And then the Bulls again Saturday. Love it. And then the Magic Monday. We'll be back Monday night.
Good basketball, finally.
Yeah, it feels like it's in Orlando. That Magic team's still tough, even with the injuries. They just play hard. They're completely bought in. I respect the hell out of the Magic. We should be able to win all 3 of these games, and that's what I'm going to predict. So I got another 3-0. Jake, how we feeling about the upcoming slate?
Honestly, I'm just glad we're playing 3 games this week as opposed to our usual 0. Yeah, I think anytime you get to play 3 games, you got to go with 3-0. So I'm going to ride with Coley.
Stiz?
3-0, baby. Get well soon to everybody on the Magic, though. Y'all boys get healthy, man. Y'all boys get healthy so we can play some good hoops again soon. But still gonna go 3-0 with us.
Yeah, as boring as this sounds, fellas, I can't pick against the Celtics this week. I mean, Chicago, come on. Like, the question, it's not how if we're going to win, it's by how much. And then, Orlando, they've given us fits previously, but, their two best players are still out, and Wagner and Banchero. And I don't know who their best player is, by the way, because that's a tough question. But always giving us trouble, whether or not they have superstars on the floor or not. So I think Orlando could be difficult, but I don't see the Celtics losing a game. Maybe spoiler alert for next week's episode, but I don't see them losing a game the rest of this year.
That's what I said last week. I declared it. They were done. They were done losing basketball games, and I see no reason to change that now. That'd be weird. Nothing's changed. We got notes from Mike Eamon. If Jake's on the 1s and 2s, I suppose he's on the 3s and 4s. December 19th, looking back throughout Celtics history, Bill Russell signed his rookie contract, which he could not sign because he had played in the Olympics. And back then it was so amateur status that you could not be a pro. You couldn't even sign the contract. You had to wait. I believe it was 6 months from when the Olympics were over to sign that deal. And it's why Tommy Heinsohn won Rookie of the Year over Bill Russell. You talk about a fucking draft class. You get Bill Russell and Tommy Heinsohn in the same draft class. Doesn't get really much better than that, boys. It really doesn't.
Tatum and Semi? Are you kidding me?
Imagine if Semi should call the games down the road. He can be the next Tommy. I would enjoy that. But when I think we got like $1,000 and probably like a Rolex back then because they were $25 when you won Rookie of the Year, and Bill Russell saw the envelope on Tommy Heinsohn's chair, and he said, "That's mine, right?"
Facts, though.
Yeah, Tommy was like, "No, I know.
It's all good."
No, I know. Which December 19th, also Kevin McHale's birthday. Shout out the legend. Shout out the sixth man of the year.
Shout out the legend, man.
Thanks for KG.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Shout out the guy.
Oh, and the 3 championships. My bad.
Yeah, he was all right. He was pretty good.
I mean, 4 for real.
Yeah.
4 got us KG.
That's a good point.
5 because KG got us Tatum. So shout out Kevin McHale.
Yo, facts.
6, 7, 8 because we already have him win. Yeah, wow. McHale.
World contract.
Shout out McHale.
The gift that keeps on giving, bro.
Yeah. No, Kevin McHale was legit. Great trade. Another draft day trade. So Bill Russell, draft day trade with the St. Louis Hawks. Kevin McHale, draft day trade with the Golden State Warriors. Jayson Tatum. Not draft day, but pre-draft trade with the Philadelphia 76ers. So stop trading with the Celtics on the draft picks. Stop doing it. It doesn't work out for you. It works out incredibly well for us. But
unless you're Milwaukee and we take Olynyk.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
Tough times.
I had to. We just talked about it.
Kelly won us some playoff series. You know what I mean? He impacted NBA history when he ripped out Kevin Love's shoulder. Like he left his mark.
Bruh, he did do that. That's crazy.
December 22nd. This is what what was getting the people going in the group chat earlier from Eamon. In his 13th game as a Celtic, Tony Lavelli, I believe is his last name. Lavelli, obviously. Lavelli. Tony Lavelli scored 26 points as Boston beat the Minneapolis Lakers, who were on their way to a second straight title. At halftime, Lavelli treated the 5,200 fans at the Boston Garden to an accordion mini concert, one of about 24 performances he gave around the league, where he pulled in $125. That was probably more than his contract back then. And
that's my kind of guy, bro. Oh yeah.
He sent a picture. He's playing the fuck out of this accordion. He's got the silk, the silk jacket out. He's got the thighs out, and he's going crazy.
Dog, that's so hard, bro. Imagine running real NBA professional hoops for a half and be like, yo, I know we got some schemes, coach, but I gotta go handle something real quick.
I gotta tell these people what it means when the moon hits their eye like a big pizza pie. You know what I'm saying, coach? Can you imagine just being absolute brick city in the first half? You've stunk it up, and then you're up there with the accordion at halftime.
Bro, that was so good. Oh yeah.
Like
shout out to what's his name? Tony Lavelli? What's his name?
Lavelli, yeah, Tony Lavelli.
Tony Lavelli, bro. My guy.
when like Walter McCarty, when he was on the Knicks, I know he used to do the national anthem like once in a while, and he would play the sax and all that. Halftime's crazy. You're down 30. People are furious.
Throwing up a
and
stinker.
Check this out.
Red is like dialing up like baseline out of bounds plays in the
That's
locker room. He's like, where the
hard.
fuck is LaValle?
I was gonna say it was 49, so I don't even know if Red was there yet. That might have just been Walter Brown and the boys.
That's so hard, bro.
Like that. It's
oh man,
unbelievably
Tony
fun.
LaValle, bro.
Yeah, LaValle. Shout out the legend, Tony LaValle.
Shout out to Ledge.
And the up in the rafters, I just want to see an accordion. I just want to see that. Right up there.
Retired jersey, just an accordion. That's tough. It's
It's
tough.
so fun.
You're looking up at the rafters. You're like, yeah, Russell, Bird, Garnett, LaValle.
Yeah. all the stars in the rafters. But this has been Rollin' Jays. I almost said Raining Jays, which is not correct. This has been Rollin' Jays. I'm Coley Mick. That's Cousin Stiz. That's Jake Yazzie and Boot of the Ball Knower. We will be back next week. So one more show before Christmas to talk about the 3-0 trip. And who knows what, more Christmas, more everything. I like this episode. I like this episode a lot. I liked getting the boys' personality out there a little bit. It doesn't have to be ball all the time. It's a long season. It's a grind. But we will be back next week, nevertheless.
Celtics will be raining threes. Raining Jays.
Hey, rolling up that fade away, rolling up that fade away, rolling up that fade away. Keep it low, you losing me. Rolling up that fade away, rolling up that fade away, rolling up that fade away. Keep it low, you losing me. Rolling up that fade away, rolling up that fade away, rolling up that fade away. Keep it low, you losing me. Rolling up that fade away, rolling up that fade away, rolling up that fade away. Keep it low, you losing me. My plug tryna innovate. Ship that shit all types of ways. This weed tastes like lemonade. I spill dashes on my J's. I don't need no court for play. I be off that Jordan fade. Back with guts all on the tray. Woo. Break it down and roll a tray. First I got more dope to weigh. I was high for all them days. All them days. That's how I avoid the shade. Focused on what's on my plate. Rolling up that fade away. Rolling up that fade away. Rolling up that fade away. Keep it low, you losing me. Rolling up that fade away. Rolling up that fade away. Rolling up that fade away. Keep it low, you losing me. Rolling up that fade away. Rolling up that fade away. Rolling up that fade away. Keep it low, you losing me. Rolling up that fade away. Rolling up that fade away. Rolling up that fade away. Keep it low, you losing me. Ballin' in my Jordan 8s. Took a shot and fade away. Blunted with the 8th of day. We chunks falling on my bait. That's okay. I don't give a fuck about them. I deal with them types of problems. All my dogs get money, man. Rain, snow, or sunny, man. Count on us to make a way. Count on us to make a way for 'em. Everything I make, scoring. Bad bitches call it norm. I'm recording, ayy. Rolling up that fade away. Rolling up that fade away. Rolling up that fade away. Keep it low, you losing me. Rolling up that fade away. Rolling up that fade away. Rolling up that fade away. Keep it low, you losing me. Rolling up that fade away. Rolling up that fade away. Rolling up that fade away. Keep it low, you losing me. Rolling up that fade away. Rolling up that fade away. Rolling up that fade away. Keep it low, you losing me. Real life. 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 She let me hit it once, then best believe I probably hit it again. If I tried it once and like it, best believe I probably did it again. Don't doubt the man, that's a mistake. Don't doubt the boy, that's a mistake. I'm not enough rolling this great. Check my stats, my team playing great. The town I'm from made me this way. Valentino, rock runner, fuck a Vism. I cut that bitch off and she like the vision. I'm the fresh prince cheating with Robin Givens. Don't tell my bitch, she might give you the business. I'm Harry Potter, chase the goal like Quidditch. Here in Slaughterhouse with no button in it. Where the money at, I go out and get it. I won't switch speeds, I'ma roll under with it. Yeah. Barely be writing, describing these pictures. My man got indicted, he's robbing these niggas. We the type to pivot, go out and get it. You the type to snatch a purse in a minute. The lavish life inside a curse in the giving. I'm out the mud despite the worst we was given. Seen and know some things I wish that I didn't. Dream some things that really hurts, I ain't living. But I keep working towards immersing the vision. Best advice I ever heard was don't listen. I smoke the pip before my nerves get to twitching. My fingers itching till the paper get in it. I talk to CEOs, you know I mean business. I felt like 3 hoes, you know I'm the nigga. Cause I knew I was on before it was written. She let me hit it once, then best believe I probably hit it again. If I tried it once and like it, best believe I probably did it again. Don't doubt the man, that's a mistake. Don't doubt the boy, that's a mistake. I'm not enough rolling this great. Check my stats, my team playing great. The town I'm from made me this way.